The Judgment Day once again stands atop WWE's Monday Night Raw after Finn Balor and Damian Priest regained the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship by defeating Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And tonight, they celebrated accordingly. Then, Damian Priest looked to make it 2-0 against Jey Uso in as many weeks when they battled in the night's main event. Was the most dominant faction in WWE able to sustain momentum? Or did Uso halt it just in time for Crown Jewel on Saturday, November 4? Find out now with our recap of this Monday Night Raw that also featured the return to Monday nights of social media megastar Logan Paul. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and the phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats as always. Nothing more to say. Let's dive right on in. Monday Night Raw live tonight from the Vine Center in Dallas, Texas, the home of the NHL's Dallas and the NBA's Dallas Mavericks. And we started it off. Stop me if this sounds familiar. An in-ring promo with the Judgment Day. Well, two at least. Undisputed tag team champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And they cut a promo interrupted by the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And we have a new match for Crown Jewel, gentlemen. Cody Rhodes one-on-one with Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. What a matchup that's going to be. So, but then Cody Rhodes had the numbers game. He was all alone. Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio show up. They go to town on him. JD McDonough shows up. And then they absolutely shatter Cody's ankle with a vicious attack. It was a hot angle that had fans in Dallas invested from the get-go. Cody Rhodes continues to be treated like the biggest thing in professional wrestling by fans. Judgment Day looks sadistic and manipulative, and suddenly Jey Uso is left to go it alone against the Archer of tonight's main event. It was an effective promo segment that highlighted top players and set the stage for the main event. The reaction to Cody Rhodes is still hella special. The guy is perpetually over. Cody asked, "How does that feel, guys, to get interrupted?" And then Priest told the American Nightmare, "At this point, your story is going to be that you failed." Rhodes versus Priest at Crown Jewel, a big-time pay-per-view match for two guys who have been stellar in 2023. So a solid start, a very effective segment to start the show. So not much more to say. MF, come on in. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest in Saudi Arabia. How about it?
Yeah, but the thing is that, I think now the concern is how bad was the injury for Cody, especially with that ankle, especially the beatdown that they suffered. It was jarring. It was shocking. We've had some beatdowns in our day. I don't think we've ever had something like that in a long, long time. It was very effective. Great storytelling to start the show. There's really nothing more to say. So, yeah, Michael Bullock, it's all yours.
Yeah, I thought this was an effective.
Uh-oh. Bullock hit the wrong button again.
Yep. Bullock hit the wrong button again, indeed. And we are awaiting his return. So, but nonetheless.
Either he hit the wrong button or the connection just straight up dropped him. Because that's been happening lately, too.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, live TV, you never know what happens. But while we have a moment, all right, we got him. All right, here he is. All right, Bullock, come on back in. Let's get your thoughts on the opening segment there. Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, this is another really good match here. I'm really looking forward to, but yeah, the Cody challenged them, and then basically it turned out to be an ambush because Rhea and Dominic showed up, and Yeah, and he ended up getting his ankle shattered, so definitely not good for the American Nightmare. So will he be 100% going into the match next Saturday at Crown Jewel? We'll have to find out. So nothing more to say. So let's move right along.
And we move on to our first match of the night. Tag team action. A first time ever matchup. The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods squaring off against the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. Winners of the match in 10 minutes and 20 seconds. The New Day. New Day gets the win. MF, your thoughts?
Interesting matchup. Yeah, I think this was one thing that we were all talking about going in. But at the end of the day, you can make an argument the right team won here. I know there's some people that kind of felt like, well, why did you stunt the growth of Alpha Academy by doing that? But the thing is that I don't. If it was just a one-off, I don't think there's going to be much argument here. The New Day is well established. Many people call them one of the greatest tag teams in WWE today. And then I think for them to win this match was fine. Alpha Academy can always bounce back off the loss of this. Obviously, Chad Gable's got his eyes on being the Intercontinental Champion, trying to be the one to unseat Gunther. And Otis, right now, there's really not much for him at this point. So I don't think the loss is going to be significant, but the match was a 3-star fight. I mean, it was an excellent match, to say the very least. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, well, what did you give it, Fletch?
3.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, it's an even 3 for me. I mean, not bad for a first ever encounter with the New Day and the Alpha Academy. I mean, the right team did win, so yeah. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So it's yours for it.
The match was really strong with some great sequencing from Chad Gable and Kofi Kingston. The pace was near perfect. The crowd was into both teams, and neither sacrificed their status as babyfaces to get ahead. It was a good match featuring wrestlers determined to win with actual stakes, as professional wrestling should be. Give us Chad Gable versus Kofi Kingston with 15 minutes to work with and expect excellence. Their sequences here were a ton of fun. The reverse worm from Xavier Woods is a whole new flex. It doesn't happen as smoothly as, say, Otis' forward-moving worm, but it's hella impressive nonetheless. New Day going over was certainly a decision. Odd that Chad Gable was a hot babyface a few weeks back and is now back to losing in tag team action. A solid 3.25-star match, teetering on 3.5. Very good way to start the show, or well, the in-ring action, that is. Next up, after a lot of backstage stuff, including a confrontation with Rhea Ripley and Seth frickin' Rollins, we then led into the matchup for the NXT Women's Championship as the champion Becky Lynch defended the title against the challenger and former NXT Women's Champion in her own right, Indy Hartwell. Winner of the match, 9.5 minutes, and still the NXT Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Michael Bullock, it's only fitting you lead off on this one because it is your show after all. So, no surprise with the outcome, but Becky Lynch is going to be in for the fight of her life tomorrow night against a very determined and a very hungry Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, and but the thing is, I mean, in this one, I mean, I think Becky definitely brought the best out of Indy Hartwell. I mean, because she definitely gave Becky all she could handle, but in the end, this was the right outcome. 2.5 to 3 on this one, but yeah, I mean, if you thought tonight was tough, oh, tomorrow night is going to be even tougher when she has to defend the title against Lyra Valkyria for night 1 of Halloween Havoc. So a nice win for Becky, but definitely some major props for Indy Hartwell. I mean, she gave Becky all she could handle there. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Solid 3 stars. The man proved why she is the champion, withstanding a game challenger and tapping her out with a disarm her before issuing a few words of wisdom to Lyra Valkyria at ringside. This was a good physical match that tested Indy Hartwell's ability to hang with one of the top stars in the company, and she passed with flying colors. It also served as a great precursor to tomorrow's match between Irish badasses. When it comes to booking, Triple H has long been very adept at crafting segments that accomplish more than one thing or tell more than one story at a time. This was no different. Little things like bringing in Lyra Valkyria to sit ringside for Becky Lynch's title defense against Indy Hartwell really helped elevate the significance of her title opportunity on tomorrow's NXT, and by proxy, help attract viewers. Indy Hartwell always impresses, pun intended, and in moments like this, she has definitely earned more of an expansive television role. Hopefully it comes her way with the return of Johnny Gargano to prominence. And then backstage after the match was over, Xia Li attacked Candice LeRae with a slap in the face and issued a warning to her and Indy Hartwell. And next week on Monday Night Raw, Xia Li will go one-on-one with Candice LeRae. So Xia Li is going to wrestle her first match on Monday Night Raw next Monday night. Look forward to that. Solid 3, teetering on 3.25 for this one. So not much more to say. MF, the man does it again. No big surprise. But tomorrow night, oh my goodness, her and Lyra Valkyria. What a match that's going to be.
That's going to be an incredible championship fight. There's no doubt about it. Look, it was a good match. 3 stars is my rating for the bout, and I thought it could have been. I don't think there was anything bad about it. You know, it was good, smooth. Like we said, Indy had the best match of her career, especially on the main roster. Becky Lynch brought the best out.
I think we've lost MF here because I don't hear anything from his end. So we'll await for MF to have his to get his audio straightened out. So, well, okay. Well, while we have a moment, let's dive on into what was next. Another backstage confrontation. Well, not really a confrontation. Nick Aldis, the new general manager of SmackDown, stopping by, making a surprise appearance in Dallas here on Raw tonight, whereas Adam Pearce was on Friday night on SmackDown. That little moment with Jey Uso. So, MF. Yeah, I heard a little commotion from your end.
Yeah, here. Can you hear me now?
I can.
All right, 3. Like I said, 3.25. Yeah, that's all set. Go ahead, Florio. Back to you.
All right, MF. Yeah, more stuff with Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, and then we had a surprise contract signing. This was This was news to me. We had the 5 women who will be battling in that fatal 5-way for the Women's World Championship in Saudi Arabia. You had Rhea Ripley, you had Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Nia Jax. All of them pretty much signed the contract as they came out to the ring with Adam Pearce. And but then Rhea Ripley came out, cut a promo, and then all hell broke loose because, as we all know, in contract signings, Michael Bullock, we know what happens.
It doesn't end well.
And this one damn sure did not end well. Predictably, all hell broke loose with a massive brawl erupting between the prospective challengers while the manipulative Rhea Ripley mockingly rooted them on from ringside. Nia Jax established dominance with a big Samoan drop to Raquel Rodriguez, while Michael Cole and Wade Barrett put over the upcoming title bout at Crown Jewel to close out the segment. It was exactly what you expected it to be, but the added element of Rhea Ripley proving herself to be the master puppeteer was a nice touch. The match at Crown Jewel, if given time, should be a lot of fun, if nothing else. the WWE, this just in, the WWE universe really doesn't like Nia Jax, and they haven't since after what she did to Becky 5 years ago. Judging from the pop that she received, they do in fact like Rhea Ripley. The fans' reaction to her is that of a star, not unlike the massive pops reserved for Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. So so that was that. Okay. And then from there we had of course what's Monday Night Raw without cutouts, and it's a shame because these are two guys who can really work, and I can't believe they were only given 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Giovanni Vinci of Imperium going up against Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano wins the match. Like I said, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm not going to call it a D for dub, but I'm going to give it a D for disappointing. I mean, you think these two guys would get a decent amount of time, but unfortunately they did not. But next week, gentlemen, we're finally going to get it. The reunion of DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They will square off against Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci next Monday night on Raw in Greenville, South Carolina. So I think that's going to get a lot more than 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So quick bullet point here. As is becoming a theme with this show tonight, it accomplished multiple things. First, it highlighted DIY as Gargano and Ciampa reunite for the main roster run fans have waited a long time for. Second, it continued to build tension and dissension within Imperium as Kaiser jockeys to be Gunther's favorite, all while Vinci struggled to find the approval and acknowledgement of the Ring General, who, oh, by the way, just marked 500 days as Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. So congratulations to the Ring General on a very impressive feat. And you know who else we're going to be saying congratulations to? Congratulations to the new American League champion Texas Rangers. They are going to the World Series. They have defeated the Houston Astros, and they put them away. They put them away in very grand style here. 11-4 beatdown tonight. For the first time since 2011, the Texas Rangers are World Series bound. So congratulations to Bruce Bochy and the crew. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if they go up against Arizona or
good for that Texas Rangers team, because the last 2 years were hard times years for them, including 2021 when they had over 100 losses. And here it is 2 years later. They're going back to the World Series for the first time since 2011. And hopefully this time around they get to finish the job
and win their first ever World Series championship. But it'll either be the Arizona Diamondbacks, who they went 1-3 against this season, or the Philadelphia Phillies, who they went 3-0 against this season. So it'll be very interesting for sure. That starts Friday night, and that will be on Fox. And because of that, Friday Night SmackDown will be moving over to FS1 this Friday night. So check your listings. Anyways, moving on.
We are guaranteed a new World Series champion.
Yes, indeed, Bullet. That is absolutely right. We are indeed guaranteed a new World Series champion. The Houston Astros have been dethroned by the Texas Rangers, 11-4. They win the pennant here tonight. So first time in 12 years they're going to the World Series. What a story. All right, next up, Logan Paul. Logan Paul cut the promo, and we got an interruption. Unfortunately, it was not Rey Mysterio. I mean, Logan Paul is a heat magnet enough, but then you bring out a guy who draws even more heat than he does, Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, like you're not going to be tuning out for that. There are some segments that can best be described as a spectacle, and the sound of Dominic Mysterio joining Logan Paul in the center of the ring tonight was an unforgettable experience. So loud was it that Mysterio was drowned out, his words barely audible, as he and the social media megastar insulted his father, United States Heavyweight Champion and WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. Ultimately, Logan Paul made the mistake of bringing ring announcer Samantha Irvin into the fray, drawing the ire of Irvin's fiance Ricochet, who hit the ring and fought the heels off to close out the segment. Outside of the reaction to Dominic was the reintroduction of Ricochet, who has unfinished business after being screwed out of a victory by Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Expect to see him involved in this storyline moving forward, culminating in a tag team match. The boos for Dominic are extraordinary. They completely drown out Dom's promo. Logan Paul drew comparisons to Mysterio, which endeared him to fans even more. Logan Paul taunted Samantha Irvin at ringside, recalling his rivalry with Ricochet this past summer. It went over about as well as you would expect, with the one and only hitting the ring and taking out Logan Paul. He leveled Mysterio with a running knee and added a shooting star press, only for Logan Paul to pull the North American champion out of the way. Very interesting segment, to say the very least. So, looks like there's unfinished business with Logan Paul and Ricochet there, guys. So, and by the way, next Monday night on Raw, Ricochet will go one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio. So there's that. We had the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, in action. They went up against Natalya and a partner of Natalya's choosing because Tegan Knox was injured. That partner ended up being Nikki Cross. But unfortunately, it didn't amount to anything as Chelsea Green and Piper Niven win the match. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Nikki Cross basically pulled a Rick Martel from WrestleMania 5 on Tito Santana and walked out on Natalya. So there isn't anything left to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, I know there's something you want to get off your chest about this.
Okay, this really bothers me because Natalya, I mean, nobody knows Natalya more than you do because she is part of the Hart family.
Indeed.
And the way they treated her tonight was pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, irresponsible, and flat out borderline reprehensible. I mean, this is one of the most hardest working women in WWE. And this is the way you treat her tonight? A 2-on-1 beatdown at the hands of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green? No, I'm sorry. I gotta call WWE out on this one. This is a flat out criminally. I mean, I really don't know what else is there to say on this. I mean, Natalya deserves way better than this, and damn it to hell, it ain't right. And somewhere right now, her father is probably rolling in her damn grave at the way they're treating her daughter. I mean, tonight. I mean, it just freaking pisses me off. I mean, we went through this whole thing, Florio, when Natalya jobbed to the Bella Twins. Remember that?
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
And it feels like we're heading down that path again. This time it's Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Perhaps.
I really don't know what else is there to say on this, but WWE, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves for the way you're treating her.
Amen, brother. Couldn't have said it better.
I'm done. I'm done with this. Yeah, WWE, you can go screw yourselves after the way you freaking treated Natalya tonight. She deserves way better than this. I'm done. I'm finished with this crap.
I'm not even gonna try to top that. Absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. Hell, that 2-minute and 40-second match with Gargano and Vinci was actually better than this. Okay. Let me just say it like this. Tegan, all right. Natalya's battle with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven over the Women's Tag Team Championship continued tonight, though an injury to Tegan Knox forced the Queen of Hearts to look elsewhere for a partner. Her solution, Nikki Cross, proved to be more problematic than anything. The enigmatic cross was lethargic, disinterested even, as Natalya took a beating and ultimately lost to her rivals. It was the second week in a row that the third-generation star fell to the tag champs, as last Monday saw her drop a singles match to Piper Niven. Ultimately, it would seem as though the answer is for Natalya and Tegan Nox to dethrone the heels, or at least try, presumably at a pay-per-view or in a high-profile match on Raw. Whatever the case, it is at least an effort by the creative team to do something with the titles, which have been the single most undeserved element on WWE television since their inception. I'm not even going to dignify this any further. I will give one compliment, though. Chelsea Green is such a magnetic performer that it is truly amazing that it took WWE 2 tries to find something of note for her to do. But other than that, absolute dud. Worst fight of the night. Not even going to dignify it any further. Now we're going to get into some serious business here. Drew McIntyre squaring off against Sami Zayn. And Drew McIntyre wins the match in roughly 14 and a half minutes. Great matchup. Now this is where we start picking it up here. As if the idea of Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre was not appealing enough on paper, the superstars went out and executed, delivering a match that lived up to its potential while incorporating a screwy finish that actually furthered a key storyline. McIntyre and Zayn beat each other up in a physical battle that left the latter's chest swollen and welted. Late, it appeared as though the underdog from the underground would score the win, but a distraction from Rhea Ripley allowed McIntyre to score the win, as Michael Cole insinuated that Rhea Ripley was giving the Scottish Warrior a taste of what could be if he aligned himself with the Judgment Day. The tease is that McIntyre could potentially turn to the dark side if it means defeating Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and enjoying a run in front of actual fans have been great, even if it is fairly obvious that he will not, especially with Senior Money in the Bank lurking with that briefcase. McIntyre is not ignorant. He knows what Rhea Ripley's endgame is, understands he is being manipulated, and while he might take any opening to defeat Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel, he will not allow himself to fall into the Judgment Day's trap. More physical, calculating Drew McIntyre is the best Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is so good that everything he does looks effortless. He is a freakish athlete, does things guys his size should not be able to, and never looks gassed or beaten. Rhea Ripley appeared at ringside, distracted Sami, and Drew scored the win with the Claymore as they continue to spin the narrative that the Scottish Warrior may be swayed by the Judgment Day. 3.5 stars. Very good match. You could certainly make an argument for Fight of the Night Honors if you wanted to. So, not much more to say here. MF, Drew McIntyre defeating Sami Zayn in roughly 14 and a half minutes thanks to Rhea Ripley.
Yes, indeed. There's really nothing much more to say about it. It was a solid match, a 3.5-star bout. You said it. There's really nothing more to add here. So, yeah, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. I mean, this was definitely a really good match here, no doubt about it. I mean, questions are still wondering if Drew is going to turn to the dark side, maybe even join the Judgment Day. I mean, think about it, guys. Judgment Day is already dangerous the way they are. Could you imagine if Drew McIntyre joins them? They'll be even more dangerous than they already are. So,
he must have done it again. Excuse me. Michael Bullock was about to finish his thought, but he disappeared again. So we are awaiting his return momentarily. So, but I definitely know where he was going with that. There's no question about it. The Judgment Day, the dominant faction right now, and if they were to get Drew McIntyre, they would be unstoppable. It's game over. Nobody will be able to beat the Judgment Day. All right, Bullock's coming back in. All right, Bullock, go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, so like I said, 3.5 stars is my rating for it. I pretty much said everything before that, all that. So it's yours, Florio.
All right, very well. Then we had Big Bronson Reed squaring off against Akira Tozawa. Big Bronson Reed wins the match, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It's D for delicious squash. That's all it was. I mean, Bronson Reed, I'll tell you what. Overconfidence on the part of New Alpha Academy student Akira Tozawa ended in pain and suffering tonight as he was promptly and summarily put down by Big Bronson Reed. On the heels of an impressive showing against Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Gunther, the New Zealand native earned a dominant win that told fans he is still the same dangerous force of nature that he was before last week's loss. That he made the show was highlighted as he was, and the commentary team put him over as strongly as they did suggest Bronson Reed still has a bright future under Triple H and his creative team. So there isn't much more to say on that. Next week, Monday Night Raw, which will be live from Horseman Country, Greenville, South Carolina, the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. And listen to this lineup, guys. I already mentioned I mentioned some of these matches earlier. Dominic Mysterio, NXT North American Champion, will square off against Ricochet. The reuniting of DIY, their first ever match together on the main roster. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, squaring off against the Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Xia Li goes one-on-one with Candice LeRae. And how about this main event? World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, one-on-one with JD McDonough. Show stealer. That's all I'm going to say right there. So there isn't much more to say on that. Main event time. Main event, Jey Uso squaring off against Damian Priest. Damian Priest wins the match, 12 minutes and 15 seconds. And I believe it goes to you. No surprise here. Finn Balor gets involved. And then Cody Rhodes, one-legged man, hobbling down to the ring, almost got even, but at the end of the night, Senor Money in the Bank chalks up another one, 12-15.
Yeah, he does chalk up another one. It was another big victory for him. Yes, Judgment Day did get involved, the whole 9 yards and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it was because Finn Balor was the equalizer in the fight. But as you notice, Cody did come back and almost got Senor Money in the Bank. He almost took him out. That would have been an eye for an eye type moment. That would have been a hell of a story to say. But you know, it is what it is. It was a fine main event. This was about a 3 1/4, 3.5 star fight. I really got nothing more to say. And Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe I'll give this about 3 1/4 for this. But yeah, without a doubt, I mean this was a good match. Yeah, Finn Balor did get involved here, but yeah, you had a lot of craziness afterwards, and Cody Rhodes almost got Damian Priest, but Finn Balor pulled him out. So yeah, pretty good way to close out Monday Night Raw. So it is yours, Florio.
Solid match that saw Damian Priest continue his recent string of victories with a big win over a legitimate main event star in Jey Uso. There will be some that question beating Jey here, but if the reaction he received prior to the match is any indication, he and his connection with fans will be just fine. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest is a big match, and the company is right to highlight it here. How it will tie into the World Heavyweight Championship match at Crown Jewel between Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and whether or not the Archer of Infamy used his guaranteed title opportunity to steal the title remains to be seen. If you need any evidence of the Bloodline's positive effect on WWE television, it can be found in Jey Uso, who was a bona fide main event competitor because of it. Jey Uso attempted a tope suicida at one point, but Damian Priest caught him and drove him into the commentary table. Michael Cole said Balor has an intense personal hatred of Uso. But like, why? Just because Uso is a babyface and Balor is a heel? And that's basically all I can say on that. So a solid 3 1/4 stars for this one. So with that being said, overall thoughts, Michael Bullock, let's kick it off with you here. overall thoughts on this Monday Night Raw from Dallas, Texas tonight?
I thought this was a good show. I mean, there were some things I thought that could have been better. In essence, I think I'll give it about maybe 7 out of 10. I mean, I think the cutouts definitely did hurt it a little bit. So, but I still think it was good enough for it to be a passable show. So 7 out of 10 is yours for you.
Agreed. 7 out of 10 for me as well. Monday Night Raw continued its recent hot streak with an overarching story in the form of a manipulative, scheming Rhea Ripley approaching several top stars and attempting to induct them into the Judgment Day. Sprinkle in some solid in-ring work, logical storytelling, and the damnedest reaction to a heel this side of the 1980s. And you have a show that knows it has to build the crown jewel and did just that with most of the creative. I could have gone higher, but the thing is, we did have quite a few duds in there, especially that women's match there with the tag team champions. That was the worst fight of the night by a mile. That was a dud if I ever saw one. And but of course, we did have a great main event. Well, actually, what I should say is we had a great match with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. They stole the show tonight. That was the fight of the night. Solid main event with Jey Uso and Damian Priest, and a solid match with and a solid opener with the New Day and Alpha Academy. A couple of good segments here and there. So the dud fights, the cutout fights, definitely bring it down. But I think 7 is the appropriate rating here. So not much more to say. MF, your thoughts, and then I will have the recap of Impact Wrestling's biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory.
7 out of 10 for me as well. I think it was a solid show. Could have been better in certain areas, but no major arguments here. I thought it was solid for what it was worth. And yeah, Anthony, let's go indeed to the biggest event of the year, Bound for Glory.
Yes, sir. Bound for Glory. That took place this past Saturday night from the Cicero Indoor Stadium in Chicago, in Cicero, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. The 19th annual Bound for Glory. Next year it'll be the 20th anniversary of Bound for Glory. We had a dark match. I don't often say dark matches, but one of the matches that was supposed to be on the card got relegated to a dark match. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. And it was for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. The champions, MK Ultra, defending against the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo and the Boricua Badass Tasha Steelz. I don't have a time of the fall because it was a dark match, obviously. But the winners and still the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, MK Ultra, successfully defend the titles. No matches on the pre-show, and rightfully so, because we had the induction ceremony for the Impact Hall of Fame. MF's all-time favorite, Gail Kim, inducting Tracy Brooks, the original Knockout, into the Hall of Fame. And then after that, Scott D'Amore, the president of Impact Wrestling, he inducted Mike Tenay and the late, great Don West into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. Special moment. Great to see Mike Tenay again. And it was great to hear his voice once again. Great speeches by both Tracy and Mike. So very good indeed. So with that, gentlemen, here we go. Let's dive on in to the main card for Bound for Glory. Of course, Impact pay-per-view. There's only one way you can start it. Only one way. You know how to start it. X Division Championship matchup. The champion, Chris Sabin, defending the title against Kenta. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 27 seconds. And still the X Division champion, Chris Sabin, 3.5 stars. Good effort from both guys here, as one would expect. Having seen them wrestle for years now, it's interesting how they've evolved. It's go they do, and I love that. 4-way Monsters Ball match. PCO versus Rhino. Macklin versus Moose. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 11 seconds. PCO wins the match. 3.25 stars. Pretty basic. The people with stuff. Not a problem with that. Every once in a while, you just want to see people hit other people with stuff. Nothing more, nothing less. World Tag Team Championships on the line. The champions, the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, defending the titles against the challengers and former champions in their own right, ABC. ABC cashing in their Feast or Fired briefcase. Winners of the match in 9 minutes and 47 seconds. And new, once again, Impact World Tag Team Champions. ABC regains the titles, 3.5 stars. There was a lot going on in this one, but in a good way. Good chemistry between the teams here, and I doubt we've seen the last of this situation. Will Ospreay squaring off against Speedball Mike Bailey. Winner of the match, 17 minutes, 58 seconds. I'm just going to call it right here and now, fight of the night, and I'm also going to go as far as to call it Impact Wrestling's match of the year. 5-star classic. I thought about it, but that ending stretch was completely insane. I know that 5 might be pushing it. It's lower than what Will usually gets from the experts, all of like your Dave Meltzers and whatnot. But 5 is as high as I can go, and that's as high as we can go. Go out of your way to see this match if you haven't already. Insane match, especially that ending. Yowza. That's all I'm saying. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Jake Something, Eddie Edwards, Kenny King. We had a surprise entrant. All right. Jake Something was number 1. Eddie Edwards was number 2. Kenny King was number 3. Number 4, Juventud Guerrera. The Juice. Yeah, you remember him. Johnny Swinger, number 5. Giselle Shaw was number 6. Jody Threat, number 7. Kylan King, number 8. Another surprise entrant at number 9. Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss, formerly of AEW. Now in Impact Wrestling. Bully Ray, number 10. Matt Cardona, number 11. Jordan Grace, number 12. Eric Young, number 13. Joe Henry was number 14. Brian Myers was number 15. Heath came out at number 16. Frankie Kazarian was number 17. Rich Swann, number 18. Jonathan Gresham was number 20. And Dirty Dango was last. And the final two were Bully Ray and Jordan Grace. And in a total time of 28 minutes and 56 seconds, the winner of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, Juggernaut Jordan Grace. I can only give it 3 stars. I'm a little surprised they didn't have her challenge for the Men's World Championship a la Tessa Blanchard a few years ago. But putting more shine on the Knockouts Championship is never a bad thing. And Jordan's cut a promo after the match saying, "I love making history." And she's already calling her shot. She wants the Knockouts Championship at Impact Wrestling's first pay-per-view of 2024, Hard to Kill, that will take place on Saturday night, January 13th, from the Palms in Las Vegas, Nevada. So Jordan Grace gets the win there. And speaking of the Knockouts Championship, that was the next match. The champion Trinity defending against one of the greatest knockout champions of all time, if not the greatest knockout champion of all time, Hardcore Country Mickie James. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 58 seconds. And still the Impact Knockouts champion, Trinity, 3 stars. Some nice mutual respect afterward. But solid match here. No surprise. You knew these two were going to give us a good match. Would have liked to have seen a little more, but it is what it is. Not surprised with the outcome. I had a feeling Trinity was going to go over, and barring anything else, it's like Trinity and Jordan Grace looks like they're on a collision course for Hard to Kill in the new year. The main event of the evening for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, the champion Alex Shelley defending the title against the and former champion in his own right, Josh Alexander, looking to regain the title he never lost because he had to relinquish it due to injury. Winner of the match in 22 minutes and 31 seconds, and still the Impact World Heavyweight Champion, Alex Shelley. Shelley did give Alexander a bit of the business afterward, but they ends. And Alexander wrapped the belt around Shelley's waist as a sign of respect. I can't help but notice a bit of attitude from Shelley still, but it was a really well-worked championship style bout that told a story. I kind of thought Alexander was going to, I'll be honest, MF and I thought Alexander was going to regain the title, but I am intrigued to see where they go with Shelley after this. Now, you would think that's over. You would think that's the end of this, right? Wrong. There was more. What? That was the main event. This is over. Oh, no, it's not. We close with a video featuring various wrestlers meeting in the woods with a box that Frankie Kazarian rescued from a lake. Eric Young, the Motor City Machine Guns, Jordan Grace, Josh Alexander, Eddie, and Alicia Edwards are also there. And Chris Sabin said there's one thing left to do. And Josh opens. We see some classic clips. Scott D'Amore and the other roster members are in the ring starting on January 13, Impact Wrestling will be no more because Impact Wrestling is going back to its roots. Impact Wrestling on January 13 at Hard to Kill will be under the banner known as TNA. That's it. Scott D'Amore and the roster members and the fans, and you heard those those legendary chants, TNA, TNA. That's right, folks. TNA is back. The reaction to this is going to be interesting, as there were always a ton of people that thought the name was stupid because of what most of us think about when the letters TNA are placed together. However, there's a good amount of nostalgia to TNA from the 2000s, back when the AJ Styles, Samoa Joes, and Christopher Daniels of the world were doing their thing for the company. The Knockouts were doing things differently. Mike Tenay and Don West were yelling and screaming about it all. I love it, but will I be in the minority? At least it's something to talk about. 9 out of 10. Super fun show with a lot to talk about. Impact, TNA, or whatever you want to call it, is doing some interesting stuff. Will we get more Will Ospreay? I hope so. Some killer matches and some nostalgia that really got me going makes this pay-per-view an easy recommendation. Really going up there as far as pay-per-view of the year goes when we do our year-end awards. So excellent show. No question about it. 9 out of 10. And with that, that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night, 10 p.m., immediately following Dynamite over on MF's channel, Bracefan 95, for another edition of Wednesday Night Madness. NXT, night 1, week 1 of Halloween Havoc. The headliner, Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. We've also got AEW Dynamite. And, of course, Thursday Night Football. Solid matchup for once. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against my Buffalo Bills. Must-win game for both teams. No doubt about it. And then Thursday, we got College Football Thursday. Headline game of the week. No question about it. Oregon and Utah. Huge Pac-12 implications in that one. And on top of that, we also have the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville. That'll be on Thursday. Friday night, we got NFL Friday. We'll recap the Buccaneer-Bill game, and we'll get into the rest of the slate of week number 8. Saturday night, Cerebral Smack Talk, 10:30, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher. Friday night, SmackDown, AEW Collision. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all again. Crown Jewel week, Monday Night Raw. And we'll have the go-home show for Crown Jewel. And, of course, my traditional Tony Steak returns with Impact Wrestling, the Fallout from Bound for Glory, and NXT Level Up. So that's it. So until Wednesday night, for Wednesday Night Madness, hosted by MF over on Bracefan 95, this is Anthony Floyer here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and of course, in spirit, always and forever, the first lady of the show, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.